is a kafir, but is one who outwardly gives the outward impression of Islam and gives the inward, he gives the outward appearance of Islam, but inwardly he disbelieves. Kafara, yani inwardly. And he says, وَلِلْإِمَامِ أَحْمَدْ فِي رِوَايَةٍ أُخْرى, and in another wording of Imam Ahmed, not in this particular wording that we're reading now, but another wording, he says from the hadith of Abi Sa'id al-Khudri, Sa'ad ibn Malik, وَإِنْ كَانَ كَافِرًا أَوْ مُنَافِقًا بِالشَّكِّ. He mentions the one who disbelieves, the munafiq, and the one who has shak, who has doubt, who doubts in the deen of Islam, as we'll mention something of another wording with this word shak in it. So we see the different wordings, ikhwan, barakallahu fikum. And what does it mean when we bring these different wordings? It is encompassing all of these matters. It is encompassing the kafir disbeliever and the munafiq who is a disbeliever, but a specific knower or kind of disbeliever. As Allah said, they will be in the lowest portions of the hellfire. Huh? So a different type. And those who have shak, those who have doubt in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they have shak, true doubt, ikhwan, that makes them doubt belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he says, وَلَهُ فِي حَدِيثِ أَسْمَاء, and in the hadith of Asma, فَإِنْ كَانَ فَاجِرًا أَوْ كَافِرًا, and in the wording in Asma, it mentions the word fajir, the wicked and evil one, or the kafir it mentions. وَفِي صَحِيحَيْنِ مِنْ حَدِيثِهَا, and also in the two Sahihs of Bukhari and Muslim, from the hadith of Asma also, وَأَمَّا الْمُنَافِقْ أَوْ الْمُرْتَابِ, and the murtab is the one who has doubt. The munafiq, or the one who has doubt. So we see all of these different wordings, ikhwan. And look at the scholars of hadith, ikhwan, and how they go from what is collected in Bukhari, and what is collected in Muslim, and what is collected in Ahmed, and what is collected by Ibn Hibban, bringing all of these wordings together. For what reason, ikhwan, as we're about to see? To make jam' al-aqwal, to make a consensus of the wording, bring together all of the wordings so we can extract from it the meaning of all of the different narrations. And that is why, ikhwan, we say that you have not truly thanked Allah until you have thanked the people. There's a thanks for the scholars of hadith, ikhwan. There's a thanks that is due to the scholars of hadith who did this without computers. Can you imagine now somebody go on the search engine, the Google, whatever, and they type in the word, and they get 100 hadiths or whatever with that word. Can you imagine the scholars were doing this without computers? From their memories, ikhwan. من حفظ الصدر, from ضبط الصدر, from that which they had memorized. What are we talking about? Na'am. That the scholars of Islam, ikhwan, barakallahu fikum, that they memorize the likes of these matters, as we said on more than one occasion. And we won't keep reiterating the same thing over and over again. But as Shaykh al-Albani said, that indeed the computer makes the individual baleed, yani, or ignorant, meaning he relies too heavily, and then his mind or his memory leaves from him. Ala kulli halin. They mentioned that particular wording also, the one who has doubt. And then he mentioned, ikhwan, barakallahu fikum, wa Abi Huraira, wa inda Ibn Majah, and then from the wording of Abu Huraira that is found in Ibn Majah, wa amma ar-rajulu su', and it's just mentioned the evil and wicked one, the evil and wicked man. And then he continues to mention more and more, wa al-Tabarani min hadith Abi Huraira, wa in kana min ahli shak. And then he mentions from the wording in the Tabarani, and from the authority of Abi Huraira, if he was a person of doubt. فاختلفت هذه الروايات لفظا, and the Sheikh says, so these narrations differ in their wording. وهي مجتمعة على أن كل من الكافر والمنافق يسأل. But what they all agree upon is that the one who disbelieves in Allah, whether he is the munafiq or the one who is the kafir, and the munafiq also, or the one who has doubt in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that all of these individuals will be questioned. فَهِيَ تَرُدُّ عَلَى مَنْ زَعَمَ أَنَّ الْكَافِرَ لَا يُسْأَلْ. And this is a refutation on those who claim that the disbelievers will not be asked questions in the grave. There were those who claimed this. There were those who claimed that the disbelievers would not be questioned in the grave. This narration is a clear refutation upon those individuals, and all of those wordings are a clear refutation upon those individuals. And then he says, إخوان, وقال إن العبد الكافر إذا كان في انقطاع من الدنيا وإقبال من الآخرة. And the disbeliever, when the time for his death is approaching him, when he is at the point of نزل إليه من السماء ملائكة سود الوجوه معهم ممسوح المسوح. And it mentions, Ikhwan, the angels will come with black and gloomy faces, and they will have with them a coarse type of wool or sackcloth, potato sack. So they make potato sacks and the likes of that out of. Very coarse and hard wool will be brought with them, Ikhwan. فَيَجْلِسُونَ مِنْهُ مُدَّ الْبَصَرِ. And these angels with these ugly faces and these ugly shapes and forms, Ikhwan, with this coarse wool, will sit in front of him as far as the eye can see. ثُمَّ يَجِئُ مَلَكُ الْمَوْتِ. And then the angel of death will come to him, حَتَّى يَجْلِسَ عِنْدَ رَأْسِهِ. And he will sit at the head of this individual, فَيَقُولُ أَيَّةُ النَّفْسَ الْخَبِيثَةِ. And he will say, "O despicable soul, O disgraceful soul, أُخْرِجِي إِلَى سَخَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَغَضَبٍ." Come out to the anger of Allah and His distaste, the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Can you imagine, Ikhwan, this angel of death coming and telling the soul to come out to the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? SubhanAllah. We seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the likes of these matters, Ikhwan. Barakallahu feekum. قَالَ فَتَفَرَّقَ فِي جَسَدِهِ. And his body will begin to shake. The one who is dead will begin to shake from fear. And then it will be said, Ya Ikhwan, فَيَنْتَزِعُهَا كَمَا يُنْتَزِعُ السُّفُودُ مِنَ الصُّوفِ الْمَبْلُولِ. And then it will be said, Ikhwan, that his soul will be ripped from his body the same way wool is ripped from the skewer. Have you ever seen wet wool before, Ikhwan? And this is for someone who's actually seen when they hang wet wool now. And they take that hook or that skewer and they place it into the wool to pull it and to separate it. And when they pull it, it begins to drag and it begins to tear the wool from itself. So this is how the soul, Ikhwan barakallahu feekum, will be removed from the body of the disbeliever. Tore from him, Ikhwan, savagely and harshly from his body like the wet wool is pulled on the skewer. Allahu Akbar. We seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the likes of that affair. Ameen. And then the Shaykh, he says, وَهُوَ كِنَايَ عَنْ تَمْزِيقِ جَسْمِهِ وَصُعُوبَةُ خُرُوجِ رُوحِهِ نَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنْ ذَلِكَ. And he said, Ikhwan, that this is a way of explaining the harsh way that the soul will be ripped from the body and the difficulty of the soul coming from the body, because the soul doesn't want to come. It doesn't want to be removed unto the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Shaykh says we seek refuge in Allah from the likes of this. Ameen. And then he says, Ikhwan, فَيَأْخُذُهَا فَإِذَا أَخَذَهَا لَمْ يَدْعُوهَا فِي يَدِهِ طَرْفَةَ عَيْنٍ. And when the angel of soul takes that soul, they will not, meaning those other angels, will not lead that soul in the hands of the angel of death the twinkling of an eye. That's how fast they will take the soul from the angel of death, Ikhwan, once he has taken it from the body of that individual. And they will place that body in that coarse sackcloth. وَيَخْرُجُ مِنْهَا كَأَنْتَنِ رِيحًا جِيفَةِ وُجِدَتْ عَلَى وَجْهِ الْأَرْضِ. And he will stink, Ikhwan, the worst smell of any corpse that you have smelled in this worldly life. A rotting body, a body rotting, Ikhwan. Can you imagine if you smelled something rotting along the side of the road, the stench and how evil that smell is, Ikhwan, barakallahu feekum. Can you imagine something that is much worse than anything you have ever smelled of a dying corpse in this worldly life? And that will be the smell that will come from that particular body. فَيَسْعَرْدُونَ بِهَا. And they will ascend with that soul. فَلَا يَمُرُّونَ بِهَا عَلَى مَلَئٍ مِنَ الْمَلَائِكَةِ إِلَّا قَالُوا مَا هَذَا الرُّوحَ الْخَبِيثِ. And they will continue to ascend. And every time they will pass by a congregation of the angels, they will say, and who is this despicable soul that is with you? Who is the disgraceful and stinking soul that is with you? فَيَقُولُونَ فُلَانِ بِنُ فُلَانِ. It is so-and-so, the son of so-and-so. بِأَقْبَحِ أَسْمَائِهِ الَّتِي كَانَ يُسَمَّ بِهَا فِي الدُّنْيَا. And they will call him by the worst of names that he was called by in the worldly life. Liar. Thief. Can you imagine, Ikhwan barakallahu feekum? They will call him by the most evil of names that he was called by, the most ugly of names that he was called by. A man hates in this worldly life to be called anything. A woman beater. A liar. A man might go to war behind